Hello, this is Catherine Watkin of Selling from the Heart, and I'm here today talking to Hilary Lees of Essence Coaching about her experience doing the Get More Clients Saying Yes course. Hilary joined me for the course more recently. It's a year since she did the program, and hello, Hilary.
Hi, Catherine.
Hello. So if you want to start by introducing your business, let people know what it is that you do.
Yeah, I'm an executive and leadership coach, and I work with busy professional women who feel stuck and frustrated. They often want to step up and make a bigger difference in a role, but their fears and their doubts tend to keep them small and not making that change by themselves. So I help them transform their mindset so they can confidently take on new challenges, either stepping up to the next leadership role or changing career direction entirely or developing and growing their own business.
Fantastic, and that is absolutely crystal clear what you do. So brilliant introduction. Thank you, Hilary. So tell me where you were at in your business 12 months ago, just before you actually did the Get More Clients Saying Yes course.
I had left my former 20-year career about 6 months prior to starting the Get More Clients Saying Yes course. So I had been running my business part-time, but it had always been a kind of a smaller venture. And I was I was finding my feet with marketing and sales. Marketing, actually, I'd done a lot of work on, so I was a bit clearer on that, but the sales piece just made me feel really icky. I come from an NHS background, and there was all of those gremlins around selling and money, and yeah, I just didn't want to be seen as pushy with clients. I wanted to be of service.
Yeah, and I think I see the pattern amongst people who have had a career in the NHS, because you're so used to just serving and helping people. And of course you get a salary, but you're so used to helping people without needing to think about asking them to pay for it. It is quite a big shift, isn't it? What changed for you in your business as a result of taking the course?
I think, I mean, it's a sales course, but it's much broader than that. You know, you cover a lot in terms of, I mean, I guess sort of how to find clients. There's a marketing element to it, but it's much broader. And I've really got a sense of, actually, I can do this. I mean, the sales process, the structure that you teach is very from the heart. Obviously, that's the name of your business, but it's about selling being a service. But I do need to make a profit, and I do need to earn to pay for, you know, everyday expenses. And it just gave me that structure, it gave me that focus, and it gave me that belief that this is doable. And, you know, the process is really enjoyable, actually, not just doable, but I really engage positively, and it's, you know, it's bringing my authenticity into the process, and actually it works. So it boosts my confidence, and it makes me feel, actually, now I am a businesswoman because I have this business that I'm evolving. Yeah.
And when you were in the program, you came into the Facebook group at one point and said, you know, I had conversation with the client, and the amazing thing is it felt awesome. It was like, I think about having you're more with the sales conversation almost than the fact that you signed a client.
Yeah. But I didn't think sales could be fun. I had such a mental block about it. I did just think, I can't be this manipulative person. It just isn't who I am. And this is just, it's so lovely to know that you can be yourself and still run a business and make a living and make a difference at the same time.
The big things you've got from it is this mindset shift around now being comfortable with sales, coming to really enjoy the process, which is fantastic. And then in terms of actual results, what results have you got that you could talk about as a result of that?
I am very clear. I mean, you teach us in the program about captivating introduction, which is being really clear about the message, who you're here to serve. I hope I did you proud with my introduction today. So I'm really clear from doing the course. I'm really clear about the fact that I work with corporate women. It wasn't a world I felt necessarily comfortable with coming from the public sector. But now I'm out there and I'm going to city events and I'm meeting women and, converting them, I would say, fairly easily, just by being authentically me and genuinely wanting to help them sort of serve their higher purpose, if you like. I just enrolled a client the other day. She's my perfect client. It's fantastic to work with her. I'm speaking to her after we finish today at 11. And it just fills me with joy when I realise that I'm really making that difference, and I'm helping those women also to make their difference. So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, great. And I just wanted to ask, given how things seem for you at the moment, where do you think your business would be now if you hadn't decided to do this course?
I would say that's an interesting question. I'd probably be floundering a bit more, and I don't think I'd have the same focus and the same sense of direction that I've got in terms of the clarity of what I'm doing, who I'm here to serve, and actually how to go and find them, and how to kind of target that more specifically. I think I'm a lot more strategic is probably the word with how I'm working now. Whereas before it was a bit kind of turn up to any old event and hope I meet someone. And if I do, oh God, I've got to speak to them about, would they like to work with me? I'd be a lot more reticent and probably struggling more.
Yeah. And actually, I remember Steve doing a lot of networking, but you weren't networking where your clients were hanging out. And so getting clear on exactly who you serve and committing to that has meant that you're now able to go to where those women are. And that's also making things easier for you as well. It sounds as though you're getting better results for less effort.
Yeah, and actually what I really appreciated about the programme was the Q&As that you do, which I'm assuming is still part of this new programme that you're about to launch. And they were a godsend because, as much as the content is really engaging and really encouraging, it's the Q&As that bring it alive. And I distinctly remember you telling me you're here to work with corporate women, which hadn't occurred to me. Now I think, duh, but I couldn't see what I couldn't see, if you know what I mean. And you've just got this way of I suppose seeing that bigger picture and intuiting what needs to be said. And it was a light bulb moment, that particular conversation we had, and it's made such a difference.
Yeah, and of course I didn't tell you that because I made that up. I told you that because I could hear that from what you were telling me, but I think you had some little voices telling you why you couldn't really do it. But it was very clear.
Oh, yeah.
That was very clear that was actually where your passion lay. So you've had some great results from doing the course, but did you have any concerns about joining?
There's always a concern about investing I love learning, so I liked to sort of evolve, but I had already invested in a public speaking course, which was also a substantial investment, and then your selling course came on the back of that. So I had to think, actually not long and hard, because I think having met you and seen you deliver your talk at a networking event I was at, I was fairly just convinced by meeting you and your authenticity. But the finance thing was something I had to think about. But I remember you saying, actually, your intention was for us to be able to get a paying client out of learning these techniques, this structure. And I did that. I did that within probably a month of doing the course, or of being on the course. Within the duration of the course, it already paid for itself. So yeah, that hesitation was resolved.
Yeah. And
yeah,
do get that investment back, and the course is designed to deliver that if you take the action, which you obviously did, so that makes you a good student as well. What would you say to somebody else who is thinking about joining the program at the moment?
I would say just do it, actually. I've done, as I say, I've invested quite a lot in learning marketing and not so much the sales element. I don't know of any other sales related training that comes with quite this angle, and you attract people. That's the other thing with this, is the community that you get on those Q&A calls and the Facebook page. It makes such a difference when you're heart-centered and you're trying to build a business that serves but also makes money. It can be quite a lonely path that you're treading. So I really benefited from that community. And, as much as it is an investment, you're also going to get so much support from the others, and you learn so much from other people as well. And that again was invaluable to sort of stop that isolation and that fear from taking over.
So if somebody's in the same position you were feeling like they know they need help with it, but not quite sure if they can make the investment.
I would say go for it, because you are it is an investment. It's not a cost, it's an investment, and you'll be far richer for it, both in terms of your confidence and the structure and the skill set you learn, but also it will pay its way for your business, as it has with mine.
Yeah. And I've just got one other question that actually I want to ask, because you mentioned earlier you much more than a sales course, and I think this is one of the slight things for me, and that the core of it is the sales conversation. But in order for me to teach the sales conversation, there are so many other elements that I need to include. Otherwise, the sales conversation doesn't exist on its own. So what other pieces did you get other than the sales conversation that were particularly useful?
I think, and this is going to test my memory now, but the sales funnel, there's extra webinars that you can watch. And there was a thing about sales funnel. And, you know, as I say, I'd been doing my business part-time for a number of years before I took the leap to go full-time into it. And I didn't realize until I did that sales funnel webinar that actually I was doing all the right things. Nobody had ever taught me this process or put it in the structure that you do. But, you know, I was going out there doing speaking. I had got a joint venture with somebody. Yes, I was doing networking, and I learned I was doing it in the wrong places, which I've now, you know, rectified. But you know, it was those extra pieces, you know, in terms of thinking around the actual sales conversation, it kind of, I found that very encouraging. And you talk about low-hanging fruit, and, you know, finding, I probably won't do it justice now, but, you know, trying to, rather than reinventing the wheel and going for big lofty ambitions, looking where you're going to get your clients easiest, building lists and things like that, and all of that extra stuff just made me feel so much more grounded. Yeah,
so grounded and in control in the business.
Yeah, and I mean, I love learning it. I drank it in.
Well, it's so wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much for that. And you know what warms my heart so much is actually one of the things you said right at the beginning about how much you now love sales conversations, because this is probably what I get out of the two biggest rewards I get from doing this, from teaching this, is firstly when people start in terms of paying clients that they were struggling to get. Well, that's hugely rewarding. But for me, the warmest feeling of all is when people say like that, I used to dread sales, I thought it was so icky, and now I love it, I think it's awesome, I can't wait to have the conversations. Because when you look forward to those conversations, it changes everything, doesn't it?
It does. Yes, absolutely. You know, and you do feel in control, and you're just thirsty for more. Yeah, it's good.
Great. Wonderful. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to come and share about your story and at the moment. And yeah, thank you so much. And I will leave you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Hilary.
No worries. You're welcome.